Hello everyone and welcome to a special raid video. My name is RubyXE and today it is time for my clan boss journey. But before I get into that, according to YouTube, around 90% of people who watch my videos are not yet subscribed. So if you're enjoying the content, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It genuinely means a lot. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So, Clan Boss. Those of you who obviously play the game know what Clan Boss is. Those of you who don't, it is basically a massive boss that the entire clan has to take down. It has multiple difficulties from easy all the way up to Ultra Nightmare, and the rewards of course improve. Clan Boss is my favourite part of the game. I love the area of the game. I love it. I just love battling it. I love improving my damage. I love seeing what I can do. I love seeing the numbers. I love seeing what other people can do as well. Because obviously, you know, don't forget, you know, people that you start off with, and you play along with, and you stay in the same team and such, they will grow with you, and you're seeing that damage go up, and it's really, really cool to see other people progress. So I want to show you all where I personally have progressed in Clan Boss. So starting from when I very first started this channel, from hitting easy to where I am now, which is hitting Ultra Nightmare. This video will contain a lot of screenshots. Now, I wanted to include video footage, but then I thought, A, knowing my luck, it'll end up corrupted, and B, it would also take a lot of sort of video space in terms of the video will go on for a long time, and I don't want to be taking too much of your guys' time, especially given it's the weekend. Oh, well, I'm recording this on the weekend, but, you know, it'd be a Monday when I upload this, hopefully Monday or Tuesday. So I'm hoping, so I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. But it will contain a lot of screenshots of damage, of different teams that I've used and such. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, the first screenshot you see here is taken from my second video titled Battling the Clan Boss! Exclamation mark, question mark. This video wasn't a Clan Boss video specifically, it was a video showing me battling different areas of the game when I first started this account. But of course this is a Clan Boss focused video. If you want me to do one for Arena, I guess I can show one for Arena, but I don't know if I've got much content on Arena because I've been more of a Clan Boss person. But this screenshot here shows the team I've used and the damage, and of course it is on easy. It took about a minute, 2-minute run, which is obviously a lot different to now. So the first champion you see on the left is Elhain. Of course she was my starter champion. I used her because obviously she was my main champion. I had no one else. She also did do the majority of the damage, looking at this screenshot, and she is genuinely overall a very good champion. So I also used someone called Fencer, who actually surprisingly did really well for me until I used her as food, I think, to get Elhain to 60. She was very good in different areas of the game. She helped me with the damage and such. And also I used Sniper, War Priest and Elder. War Priest was pretty good for healing. Of course, Sniper, everyone gets her at the start. She's like the example of getting an uncommon champion. And actually, she is a pretty decent champion for starters. And very good if you don't have anyone else in Faction Wars. Speaking of Faction Wars, by the way, I do have plans to make a Faction Wars video. I'd already recorded one, but I'm not too happy with it. I just thought it was a bit lackluster, so I'm going to plan one and make one. Don't know when, but it'll be coming. But anyway, so yeah, I used War Priest, Elder and Sniper. Elhain and Fencer is the team, and obviously as you've seen with the recent videos, it's a lot different to what it is now. 151k damage. What is it for? I believe it's what's the minimum damage you need for easy? 1.1, so that was nowhere near a 2 key. It was nowhere near a 1 key, nowhere near a 2 key. But of course it was a star. I had to make a star. I felt very sort of, I think I was a bit disappointed with the team because I thought for some reason, you know, thought it would do a bit better, but of course it didn't. But of course the damage grew. With that being said, let's move on to the next stage. So the next progressive move we did, of course, was pull Geomancer. Well, not only that, you can see the team has already changed. We have Aikatoon, Coffin Smasher, who I still have, by the way, is a 60 champion. I don't really use him as much anymore, but he's very, very, very good. A1 decrease attack on decent chance, HP champion, so you can build him to survive and such. But the main point of this team was Geomancer. Of course, I got stupidly lucky and pulled him in, I think it was an Ancient Shard opening, I can't quite remember. I also had Erin, yes, who actually is a decent poisoner. I thought she was a good poisoner. And of course, War Maiden, who is decreased defense, and also a farmable champion. So if you want yourself War Maiden, just jump onto, is it the Deadlands, I think it is, and just keep farming until you get her. But this team was centered on trying to get the speeds right and, of course, the damage. The speeds I wasn't very good at then. I've learned quite a lot about speed tuning actually lately, and I've obviously put that into the team with obviously a bit of help from everything else that I used to get the team that I've got now. So anyway, Geomancer is, of course, one of the best clan boss champions in my opinion. I think he is absolutely a legendary legendary champion in epic clothing. I think he is absolutely just out of this world because of his passive. And if you don't remember me talking about it, his passive is quite simply he puts a HP burn on the enemy, and every time that enemy does damage to your allies, to your allies and yourself on your champion, and Geomancer, should I say, the damage gets reflected with a chance of inflicting extra damage with a small percentage to the enemy max HP. Of course, Haikatun was providing the speed. Coffin Smasher was providing the decreased attack. Arinyes was the poisoner. War Maiden was the decreased defense, and of course, Geomancer was the damage dealer. And as you can see, I already boosted straight up to normal. This team was easily going to be easy, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. We'll fight normal, see how it does. And as you can see, 1.52 million damage. Very good. I can't remember that. That's definitely got to be a 2 key if it's not a 1 key. I can't remember the exact damage numbers, but I'm almost certain that's definitely, surely got to be a 2 key. In fact, I can just double check right now. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 3.6, so it was just under a 2 key. Of course, obviously, with more gear, and of course, Geo became, I think, was it in my second 60, I think it was. But with that, I obviously did more damage as he improved. My gear got better, so his accuracy went up, his normal damage went up, his speed went up, everything went up. And of course, as you can see, in later videos, he did a ton more damage. So that's Geomancer, and that's an improvement. So from easy to normal is what we went from. In the inclusion of Geo, astronomically improved my damage, and of course he will improve your damage if you are ever lucky enough to pull him. On to the next stage. So this next part is Geomancer has officially hit 60 by this point, and as you can see in the top left of your screen, I moved up to hard. Normal was becoming a bit too easy for me. I moved up to hard. I can't actually remember what day I was on in terms of the account. I can't quite remember. I obviously have Haikatun, so it was definitely longer than day 30. But yeah, so as you can see, normal, same team apart from I've included Nazana. I'm almost certain it's because of Ally Protect, which means the team lasted a little bit longer. As you can see, Geomancer is a 60. I believe his masteries weren't quite there yet. I don't think I had tier 6 masteries on him at this point. So of course, you know, he wasn't getting the extra damage from War Master. But absolutely, as of always sung high hopes about Geo. We've been calling him the Clan Boss King, and because of the damage he puts out. As you can see, that 2.1 million damage, 2.44 million overall. Again, this is this is massive improvement, and a lot different to what I can do now. Or, you know, obviously a lot different to what I can do now. I've improved. But yeah, so I've already spoken about the 4 champions there. Nazana, pretty cool champion. I can't exactly remember her kit. Do I still have her? Let's have a quick look. Go away a second, please. Do I still have Nazana? I can't quite. Oh, I do. There we go. So Nazana, of course, has a Ally Protect and a shield on her, which means basically she'll take less damage from when the Ally Protection goes off. I also believe, yeah, there we go. She has a decreased attack, and is that decrease? Oh no, just a normal attack for enemies. So pretty good for something like Spider if you can get damage up. But yeah, overall pretty decent champion. But yeah, of course the focus was on Geomancer because of the damage, and I love a good damage dealer. You know, I always focus on damage deals, and now that I've got the team that I've got, I can focus on that. On to the next stage. Hopefully you guys are still with me if I haven't bored you already. On to the next stage. So we are back. So the next stage of my progression is, of course, on hard. I was on hard for quite a long time, but as you can see by this screenshot, we've had a few more additions, and very powerful additions. So we've of course kept Haikatun, Geomancer, and Coffee Smasher, and I brought in Farak in the Fat and brought back Elhain. The reason I brought back Elhain, although I don't recommend her for clan boss, she was one of my only main damage dealers at that point. But Varak in the fight is an absolutely fantastic champion because he has an ally attack. It doesn't include himself, but the rest of the team gets to use their default A1 and just add extra damage to the clan boss without it affecting any turn meters or anything. Absolutely great skill. Of course, it also improves, also adds, an extra 30% crit rate and 30% crit damage, meaning if you've got him in your team, it's quite easier to build your team's damage dealers because you don't need 100% crit rate if he's on your team. You just need 70%. He's brilliant champion. He's actually in my team, still in my team now. It's just too good. Of course, everyone else, as you can see, is upgraded. Elaine was already 60 at this point. Coffin Smasher just hit 6 stars. He hadn't quite hit level 60 yet. Geomancer was fully ascended. I also massively improved his gear. As you can tell, 0.8 million damage he's doing here. Frack in the fat 1.3 mil because he also has a decreased defense and some HP burn and poisons. Of course, given that he's a HP burn champ, same as Geo, Geo's HP burn will always take priority with the AI. The AI will always put his on first. Hagatun was of course there at level 50. I wasn't planning on using him much longer after this, but as you can tell, 12 million damage on hard. I do believe that is a 1 key. Let me just have another quick look. Hard, let's have a look. Yeah, it's a 1 key. A 1 keyed hard at this point. 1 key, sorry. 1 key hard at this point. Elhain, I'm pretty sure if I remember rightly, she was moved out of the team after this. But of course, Fracking, Geo, Coffin Smasher, and I think maybe Haikatoon was left in. Now, the only problem with Haikatoon is if you don't know speed tuning, it's very likely that her speed might actually mess you up, because if you've got it as a 1-to-1 rotation and she puts an increased speed on, you might accidentally use an extra turn when you don't want to. So you need to be careful when using speed leads, but of course if you've got the speed correct, it works like a charm. So champions like of course Haikatoon, even Calvalax has a speed aura, and Doom Priest has one for herself. So that's the screenshot of that. Now let's move on to Brutal. So here we are on Brutal. So here we are on Brutal. As you can see, I didn't hit as much damage as I thought I would. I believe, if I remember rightly, it was a speed and gear issue, which is always the issue with clan boss. Like I've said plenty of times, if you haven't got them right, your run's not going to work. You can't just throw in like a simple team without speed tuning it and hope for the best, unless of course you've got the champions available to do so, although I'm almost certain it's not possible. So, with this screenshot, you can say I used the exact same team as I used in the previous screenshot on hard. Obviously, it won't be as much damage because as the difficulty go up, like Tier 6 Masteries do a little bit less damage per hit. Of course, poisons, I think poisons do the same damage per difficulty. I don't think that has an issue. But the reflect damage wasn't doing as much damage, which is a bit of a shame, but of course, with Geomancer's HP burn going on off all the time, the damage was going to come through anyway, whether or not. But obviously, the higher the difficulty, the more damage you're going to get off your Geomancer, because the clan boss is going to do more damage against your team. So, that was a quick screenshot. Let's up it even higher. Nightmare. So, here we are on to Nightmare. I think at this point I managed to 1-key Brutal. I can't quite remember. I'm almost certain I 1-key Brutal. Well, obviously I would have 1-key Brutal, but I can't quite remember if I 1-keyed it before trying Nightmare or after. But this shows how far the team has come even more. We have made another addition. Godseeker Neri. She is one of my favourite champions. A, because she looks incredible, like the visuals on her. But her kit is fantastic. It's it's team-centered around healing. So obviously she has an A1 where she heals another champion. I think it's a percentage of their max HP, or maybe it's to do with the damage dealt, even though I'm almost certain it's 10% of the max HP. She has an AoE increase buff duration and AoE heal, so she will use an AoE skill and the entire team will heal. And then she has a revive A3 and a revive passive. So every time someone goes down, she can either manually pick them up, or the passive will activate every few turns and pick someone up, including herself, by the way. And I think they boost their their HP and their turn meter. She's brilliant for survivability. If you can keep her alive, there's a chance that you can keep your entire team alive. She is fantastic, and if you ever pull her, definitely 60 her. Get her gear up, get her to survive, get her HP up, defense up. She's a defensive based champion. Her damage is actually pretty good, if I'm being truthfully honest. I think she is overall a fantastic champion. And obviously, as you can see by the team, the damage, she kept my team alive. 7 minutes is how long it lasted. Now, in an effort to try not to rush the video along, because I'm conscious of how long this is taking, let's move up to the next screenshot, and I'm pretty sure this damage is about to go up even more. Let's go. And here we are with another addition to the team. 2 additions, actually, if my eyes didn't deceive me. Unkillable and Vogoth, both absolutely fantastic champions overall, not just clan boss, but for the sake of the video, absolutely fantastic clan boss champions, as I mentioned in my video titled the video that I did about my favorite clan boss champions. Them 2 were definitely mentioned as far as I'm aware. But Vogoth is available because of the leech debuff he has. Basically, what that means is leech is lifesteal in a debuff. So every time leech is placed on an enemy, every time a champion does damage to that enemy, they heal by a certain percentage. I'm almost certain it's 30%, same as lifesteal. Not too sure. But of course, when you've got the tier 6 masteries, that will proc beautifully. Geomancer didn't do as much damage as I'd hoped here, but I'm pretty sure that's because it was negative affinity, so he was getting targeted for the stun. But Unkillable, as I've mentioned, one of my favourite champions, he's just a poisoner. That's just it. He places poisons like it's every day of the week. He places poisons in his sleep. He places poisons when he's taking a bath. He places poisons when he's washing up. He places poisons every single second. Well, if you've got the right accuracy, that is. He is brilliant. He's in my main team now. The damage he produces is mind-blowing. He places about 20 million damage in my team now. That's an Ultra Nightmare. And as you can see in this, 6 million damage. I'm almost certain he didn't have his tier 6 mastery at this point. And Vogoth, of course, keeping the team alive. I don't think Vogoth had the tier 6 mastery either. Masteries were a bit slacking at this point. I actually don't think any of them had it by the looks of the damage. I'm pretty sure Coffee Smasher might have done, but I can't quite remember, guys. But there you go. Nightmare damage, 16 million. 16. That's massive. That, I believe, it's just about a 2 key. I'm pretty sure it is a 2 key proc. Proc, not the right word. 2 key damage number. Pretty sure it has to be. No, it's not. It's just, sorry, my bad. My maths is all over the place. It's just under a 2 key. I'm pretty sure you used 3 keys on this, and I got about 45 million damage just after doing this. And, it's absolutely fantastic. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes, progression. Progression is my favourite word. I love myself doing it. Other people doing it. It is genuinely brilliant. And, actually, here's a thought. I want you guys to tell me where you are with Clan Boss, what you are up to, your teams, your thoughts on Clan Boss, and everything else with it. Let's make this a Clan Boss centered video. Tell me what you are up to with it. Tell me your favorite champions for it. Tell me what you plan to do if you plan to bring anyone in. And yeah, it'd be pretty good. Thought-provoking discussion down in the comments. And here we go. We have now at this stage managed to 2 key Nightmare. This was a huge boost for me because it meant I could spare a key to tackle Brutal and 1 key Dart, which at this point I definitely could do. So as you can see by the screenshot, we have brought Godseeker back in. Geo is up front for his health. I probably should have put Vogoth in there for the accuracy, but it's fine. 23.7 million damage is what I did here. Absolutely brilliant. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yes. I was like, I celebrate. It was a personal best at that point because I'm pretty sure my old account could only hit about 19 million. And at that point, I'd pretty much given up because I thought, because I didn't know what I was doing. My roster was all over the place. But of course, that was one of the things I wanted to focus on in this account. My new main account is simple roster progression, keeping all of my champions, not just binning them off for food as I'd normally do. And yeah, so anyway, back to screenshot. So this screenshot shows my Unkillable, I believe Geo at this point, both had their tier 6 masteries. Godseeker was brought back in. Of course, survivability was a massive thing. As you can see, it's sort of similar in the sense of the setup of my team now, but without the actual unkillable part. So I've got 3 sort of champions which will keep up the survivability. They will keep up the health, the defense, the life, I guess, and then obviously I've got Oko and Geo doing the damage. Now, of course, if this was on Ultra Nightmare with the gear and stuff I've got now, with the 3 that I use now for Ultra Nightmare, I reckon this will probably do about 40 to 50 million damage on Nightmare, because of course it didn't last as long. I lasted about 20 turns in this, and of course double that, well, just over double that is 50. On to the next part. I hope you guys are still with me. If you are, thank you very much, and I do appreciate it. Here we are. As you can tell, this team looks surprisingly similar to the one I'm using now. How could that be? That's because this is when I brought my block damage Unkillable comp into the fold. With this, I managed to finally get my speed tune correct. I lasted the entirety of the 50 turns. I watched it on the PC. I watched it unfold with a coffee and some biscuits, and I enjoyed every single second of it. I'd never been able to do this. The joy I felt in finally managed to build an unkillable team, I was super stoked. I was very hype. It is what it is. Absolutely happy. And yeah, let's get into the screenshot. So as you can see, 35 million damage, just under a 1 key, sorry. Damage, Okul and Varakin doing the most damage. Roshguard, Seeker and Warcaster keeping my team alive. Roshguard had his tier 6 masteries by this point, Seeker and Warcaster did not. Okul was of course my main point of damage, doing about 20 million, which is what he's doing now. 20-minute fight, which is roughly what they are every single one. And honestly guys, this catapulted my account. As you can see by the amount of ancients I have now, I've gotten all of them from Clan Boss. By the way, just a quick point that I will be doing an Ancient Shard opening this either on Friday or the weekend. I can't remember when, but you know, it'll happen. Definitely is happening. So with that being said, let's move on to where I am now. And here we are. As you can see by the damage, my team has gone tenfold. It has gone to 50 million damage on Ultra Nightmare. That is incredible. And that 100% of 2 key. You need about 36 million damage. 35.5, 36 million damage per key to at least get the minimum to 2 key. It's about 70 million in total. But as you can see, I did about 100 million damage with 2 keys here. And the team consisted of the team I'd already showed in the previous screenshot, but with better gear and tier 6 masteries unlocked. I genuinely could not contain my excitement when I saw this number. I was like, wasn't even watching. I think I had it by the side of me on my phone while I was I think I can't remember what I was doing. I think it was editing something. And as soon as I saw this, I looked at the side of me and I was like, in shock. I was completely gobsmacked. And for me, as much as I hate the sound of my voice, I'm someone who doesn't shut up that easily, and I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I was like, this is beautiful. This is the first time I'd ever been able to do this sort of damage, let alone hit Ultra Nightmare. And it was obviously thanks to the support I'd gotten from Discord and other various places that I'd been and visited that enabled me to improve my damage and such. And yeah, this enables me, like I said, to get more shards, which hopefully gets better champions, to improve the content and such. And with that being said, brings me to where I am now. Whew, that was a long video. Again, I hope you guys are here, still here. If you want, I understand, hearing my voice for more than 5 minutes, it's too much, let alone for as long as this has lasted. But if you have stuck this far, I genuinely do appreciate it. We have gone from hitting about 100k damage on easy to hitting 50 million on Ultra Nightmare. And seeing the progression, and of course seeing you guys enjoy the videos as well. Like I said, you guys seem to enjoy the Clan Boss videos, and it, absolutely warms my heart. Warms my heart to hear you guys commenting on the videos, saying this about Clan Boss, that about Clan Boss. This sort of progression also wouldn't have been possible without you guys, because I made this account a sort of a side account for YouTube. I grew it into my main account. I don't play on any other accounts anymore, not even a free-to-play. I will be bringing one out at some point in the future. Anyway, and, thanks to you guys, the motivation to make content has come from you guys, loving the content, loving the videos, commenting with fantastic comments, by the way. I do read them, every single one I read them, I replied to them. And, yeah, so without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So, this video is sort of a toast, I guess, and a cheers to you guys for all the love and support you've given me. Like I said, as someone who struggles with mental health as I do, struggles with confidence, with belief in myself, you guys are sort of the engine that keeps this going. So after that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys genuinely hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you do play clan boss, well, I say if, you definitely should be doing clan boss. But what's your current personal best on clan boss? What difficulty, what teams you use, and any tips you think you can give me? I don't mean that in a cocky way, by the way. I just mean that I take any tips and advice and definitely use it to improve myself, my content, and my team. I've talked enough for this video. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. And until the next video, I hope you guys have an awesome week, regardless of the content I bring out. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next video, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.